So I'm going to be helping her define her authentic self. And as you hear her talk about her stories on things, I want you to write down adjectives that you think she could use to describe her false self. Because the words will come to you quicker than they probably will to her. And then we can share them with her at the end, okay? It would be positive adjectives like strong, courageous, talented, gifted in this, but make them very specific so that will help her have some ideas of how to define her own authentic self. Got it?
You did say false self before, I think.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I meant authentic self.
Check it.
Thanks for correcting me. Yeah. Yes, we are putting the conditioned self, the false self aside for a little while tonight, and we're going to help her define her authentic self. Okay, let's go for it. Okay, Erin, thank you for volunteering.
Thank you.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about what you think your authentic self is like.
I know my authentic self is
Love, okay. And tell me more what that means to you.
well. I'm learning what love is, because I knew a whole other thing of what love was from my growing up. So
this is
I'm not
new
sure
to you.
yet. Yeah, love to me, yeah, I had to actually make a box frame.
Well, you know, I'll just start out by saying I've heard your story of when you were little, and I just have to tell you, it is just a miracle that you're sitting here. And so I already know one characteristic of your authentic self, and it is resilience. Because you keep coming back from someone putting you down and hurting you. Even as a child, you somehow maintain that connection to yourself some way because you're still sitting here, you know? I mean, when I hear your story, I just think of a person that goes to an extreme of mental illness, and it would have been very easy for you to slip into that. So I already have this awareness of your strength as I coach you tonight.
Do I need to, I mean, I can share if it makes it easy.
Well, can you put it in kind of a nutshell?
In a nutshell, I was sexually abused. I was sex trafficked from the time I was 2 until I was 8. And in that, there was also the abuse from my father and my brother. And so
It's just unbelievable what you went through. So put that aside for a minute. And now what I want you to do is tell me any experience you've had of love that you think is positive now.
Recently.
Well, it doesn't have to be recently. Anytime that you've experienced love that's been, you know, the right kind of love.
I would go to, I go to say that one of my doctors, because I'm also on I don't have a swallow, so I have a line in my chest to do feedings, and that doctor she has a love for me that I didn't even know until now. I'm just figuring out and understanding, but she is always she had tears in her eyes when she would tell me, though, this is what's going on, this is what we got to do. So I think I think her response to me, I'm figuring out now was love. I used to think it was a pity, or she pitied what but when I look at it now in a whole new light, and I get to see her on Wednesdays when I'm excited.
Does it feel so good?
Yeah, is that now I know her love was an authentic love, wasn't it?
You could trust it and believe it.
Yeah.
So was it hard to think that someone could love you?
Absolutely. Oh, even to this day, there's still, I have to remind my authentic self that I am loved, and that's my
New affirmation, your new belief.
my affirmation all day long is I am loved, and I just say that. I say it out of the blue. I say it when I'm driving because I drive a lot. So I say it a whole lot while I'm driving. I am loved.
Good for you. I like it. I like your diligence on this process. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Have you ever had an experience of loving someone else?
It's way worse, because I do have 2 kids. I had one when I was 16, so, and then me and her dad caught up again later on and had another one 11 years later, but.
Yeah. So you have a son that lives with you now?
Yeah, he's 16 still.
Okay. Well, I remember in early part of this process where you were learning to parent him differently and you were catching on to it really quick. So tell me what's going on with him or with you and loving him.
Well, I noticed like since we've been coming back is I don't do the drama. I don't like continuing to yelling and screaming and hollering when he's in one of his moods. I found myself being able to stop and just look at it and see him from a place of love and know that the next thing coming out of my mouth might not be from love. So let me just back off. Let me just not say nothing.
Nice.
Catch myself.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then I will when I get older. I was like, oh, I can't stand the fact that, but I'm in my room.
It's okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you don't
just kind of,
want to deliver any message to him that's not loving.
right. I think my conditioned self is learning to step back. My authentic self is allowing this beginning, just, see that she's loved and she's in control and she doesn't have to worry about who's going to open the door the next time it opens. And if somebody knocks and says they have something for you, it's not going to be a man walking in and that's what they have for you. Yeah. So it's still, even to this day, I'm 44 now. I still, at times, when people knock and they have stuff, it's like, oh no, we're good. But I'm learning. But I have to say, when I really looked at it, is I had never loved anybody because I didn't know what love was. I mean, how could I have an expression of something when I had no idea? When what I knew of love was, it's your turn. You got to take care of this so your mom can have her next drug.
It was just an act of asking you to always give something.
Love to me was the next man walking through the door. And that was love. I mean, and that's why I said I could give it a box because love had taken on a point of being an actual person. Love was its own person. It had its own physical body. And I knew what it was going to be. And so now learning that love is the expression of all that there is, I'm starting to pick that up now and starting to see things different, the way I talk to my daughter, the way I see my daughter.
You're kind of holding a space for her.
Yeah, because, and I've apologized to her. I have told her, I have sat her down and I apologized to her that who I was then I was coming from a place of I was just existing. And I just reacted to everything from her, from that. She took some whooping, she shit up, and just things. And
told her all that.
Oh, I did. I apologized to her and I apologized to my son that even in his earlier years, just even though he was my travel buddy, there was still times when I would just go off on him. And he would have been on me like, wow, what? It wasn't that big of a deal.
Do you remember any time as a child a positive anchor of anything?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. What was it?
My granddaddy, which was my mom's side, I forget who my mom is, but my mom's side, her, it was her grandmother. She was a Jewish mystic, and she knew that I also, too, carried those gifts. And that made, my mom, my grandmother, all of them. So she was my great-grandma.
So you felt that connection?
I would go, because we would go down there so my mom could spend time with her daughters, because they weren't allowed to be around my dad. So we would fly down to Houston, and she is my anchor. She's always been, and she's my guiding spirit that I always know when things are getting too bad. I just say, Granddaddy.
Is she still with you?
Oh,
Yes. You still have her spirit to communicate with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's the best thing about you?
Best thing about me. That I'm an open vessel.
Open vessel, you may have to talk a little closer to the mic.
Okay.
So tell me what you mean by open vessel.
Well, I don't hold a judgment on people. I try to give them their opportunity to show their authentic self when I meet people, so now I'm learning to do that. I'm learning that I don't have to be scared to shake someone's hand or something. Something's gonna happen if I do that. So I'm open vessel. I'm willing to
Relearn something.
and I'm willing to take you even if you just got out of jail for 10 years, you spent 10 years. Okay, well, I don't know that person. So show me
You're willing to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
Like your nanny did, your nana did.
my granddaddy did, yeah.
Grandnanny. So how have you gotten to that point? That's remarkable.
A lot of talk. I have a lot of conditioned authentic self-talks. And I've had them for years, but I never knew what they were.
I was wondering if you hadn't been doing it so
I just figured there was two of me. That's why I've always taken it as two of me, and one of them, sometimes one of them would jump in, and when I need to be protected, one of them was gonna jump up and protect me. And when it was something that I needed to be soft and attuned to, I give it that spiritual attune. I tell it,
Wow.
listen,
Uh-huh.
that's who would come.
That's amazing. So you've always had that ability to hear both of them.
Absolutely, and that's why because my granddaddy saw that from me, the time I was 2 and I'm telling her this stuff, and my mother and my grandmother telling me shut up and hit me and say don't you tell anybody that.
So your gift was kind of put down as something to hide.
Yeah, that it was bad because they were strong or Orthodox Jews, and you don't have that. You don't know that's not.
What do you think that gift is, if you could put it? You said mystic. What? It's an ability to.
I always say I don't think I ever. Sometimes you come in and they say when you come to the birth canal, you kind of lose a little bit of what you are. You everything you need to know. You already know.
You lost.
But when you come to that birth canal, for some reason, you seem to lose that. And and my granddaddy told me that, and I've just always believed that when I came through, I kept I never lost that. I've always kind of known.
Yeah, in neuroscience they call it obsession. You still have that wholeness, that uniqueness, that divinity.
Yeah, and that's the only reason when people ask how did you survive 7 years, and I tell people because I wasn't there. Because physically my body may have been there, spiritually,
just take yourself out of it.
Spiritually, I couldn't tell you any one time of any one person or anything that happened, even from my dad and my brother. Nobody, I couldn't tell you any of those.
Yeah, the memories.
That's why, because my granddad.
So you really created something that protected you.
Absolutely.
That's remarkable. It's like an ability to shut out the negative. We're taught that here at CSL, that there's not really a Satan and this negative just shows up. But, if you just don't look at it and give it attention, then it's not powerful anymore. So that's what you did.
Yeah.
So you have a spiritual nature that is very strong and very talented and very intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
You have connection to your divine intelligence still.
Absolutely. Wholeheartedly, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Tell me the best thing you've ever done in this world.
Give birth to my kids. Because they're turning out to be two, and I hadn't been spirit, because I don't know how they have turned out to be the woman that my daughter is now, and the man that my son is being. He never had that male role model.
Yeah.
But the man that he's becoming is.
You've changed your parenting with him though, because I know your stories in the first 2 or 3 sessions where you were allowing him to be himself. You were stepping back from the drama.
Yeah.
What's the next best thing you've ever done?
shared myself, shared my gifts, and I think, sharing who I am
Mhm.
with the world.
So can you give me an example? Like a specific time when you shared yourself and tell us what happened?
Well, I've used my gifts to kind of, when I was in Mile High, endeavor kind of to help resolve. I had just somebody that came to me that was close to me and was going through a lot of turmoil and things. And I just think one of those things is just being open and telling them, this is who I am, whatever I can do. Put your hands here, let my energy, share your energy, and let's change this. And I think that's the best thing that I can do is be me.
So how many times in your life have you done that?
Many.
Something like that.
I've done many readings. People like, oh, can you give my dad a reading real quick? And as much as and just like, I don't know, I would never charge for it. And that's my thing. Charge for what? Something that we all have?
But we don't, do we? Because you do.
We all have it, but at a certain degree and at a certain level, we're there with.
We haven't developed it. So what do you mean by reading? I think I know
Like a spiritual reading, just
what would that look like?
it's spiritual healing. So my hands are just taking, and people have said that when I do that or I do any massages or anything, so I'm in the physical therapy world with peds, and they say that when I touch them, that my hands get really warm. My hands are by nature freezing all the time, but my hands will heat up at that point.
For that healing.
And to just pass along a message. Sometimes it's a message from their loved one. They needed to get to that person.
From the other world, from the other side.
From the other side, yeah. But I've done that, and I love to do that. I'm not gonna lie. I love to share, and I love to do healings, things like that. That for me is me. That's me. That's my authentic self. My conditioned self is that woman going to work every day. Well, not right now, but was going to work every day, but it's now. I think my conditioned self has finally got to a point because now I'm shifting to a new career. When I was doing, my body just shut itself down, and I think it was because I wasn't listening. Psychologically, I was hearing, you're done with this, you need to go to this place. And I was like, no. Well, I guess my contingent self and my authentic self were fighting that one out. And I think
have you ever, I don't know if you've gone here or not, but have you ever realized that all the stuff you went through actually made you
who I am today?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really?
I wouldn't wish it on anybody else, and I wouldn't, but I don't think I would change any of what there's nothing either, and I've been through some serious adult situations.
I know.
There's no, I can't say that I would want anybody else to go through it, but I needed to go through it. It had to happen, because if it didn't happen, I wouldn't have seen this insight, and I would still be in this situation.
What are you going to do now with your life?
I am going to do life coaching with kids in the foster care system. So, I was a foster kid for 2 years. My mom and my dad was in prison, and somehow figured out a way to fight for me not to have custody. Kind of weird. But in that time, you just, and it hurt me. And it hurt me, like, spiritually, when we were in there in those 2 years. Like, I could cry about it today, and I try not to, but to see kids that, when you looked at them spiritually, you looked at them physically, they were lost. Like, okay, you took me out of the situation, but you just dropped me back in this house with 10 other people, and what do you want me? I don't know how to live with one person. How do I live with 10?
I can't think of a better person to help them because you've been through it yourself.
Absolutely, and there's not, you don't see a lot of light in those eyes. And I think that my presence of them will be that light in their eyes when they've made that kind of, looked at their life plan and made some concrete decisions on their own.
Absolutely.
And they kind of have a goal of where they want to head, what they want to look at. You know, instead of looking ahead, you're going to go through 7 foster homes. Instead of looking at that, okay, well, you might step into 7 foster homes, but what are you going to take from each of those 7? Because you're going to get to this goal. And that's Spirit is just letting me, that's, I don't know, it burns inside of me. It's just the feeling to want to be there, to want to touch them, to tell them that it's okay.
Keep their light shining.
Yeah. Keep them there, because a lot of them, you just lose them to mental health because.
Glad we didn't lose you.
God had too much for me. No way.
Big plan.
Big plans.
So would you like to hear what some people will use as words to describe you?
Absolutely.
So that you could, well, will somebody write all these down for her? So she can take them with her? Kel, you got it? Okay. Okay, Frank.
Love you. I absolutely love you. I wrote down a ton of things, but I can just share. Obviously, I mean, it's already been shared, your courage, but your wisdom and your knowing and your connectedness, I mean, clearly, you don't get through that without being connected. You just don't, and you know that.
Never lost your
and the thing is, you know it, and that's the thing. So you have the knowing on top of it,
Right.
and your extraordinary wisdom in reframing the whole experience. Truly, it's truly inspiring to me.
Thank you.
And I love your openness as you shared your authenticity. And boy, you have almost I don't know if the word's correct, but there's almost you seem to be so at peace. I don't know if this is quite the word, but it's almost like a majesty about you.
Beautiful.
That really it's amazing to see. I mean, and it's amazing to experience you as that. And wow, and what I heard that you were working with foster kids, that was it. I mean, that's I'm grateful for you.
I was thinking, thanks, Frank. I was thinking of the word purity.
Yeah.
Purity.
I don't know. I think you might have just gave my authentic self its name, Majesty.
Oh.
I was looking and searching for a name, and today I couldn't figure out a name.
I love that.
But now Katie B and Majesty can talk to each other.
There you go. Kyle, what were you going to tell them?
I had several things, but I think power.
I have several, but I think the most important one is survivor. To survive so that it survive so that of course, that wouldn't have been possible without strength.
Strength. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, we're going to add something.
Yeah, I've got several words, but ready to go?
Yep.
Brave, intuitive, empathic, compassionate, inspiring, passionate, and wise.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Holly, what were you going to say?
A lot of those that have already been said, but one of the things that comes out to me is that your experience in life has given you the ability to be the observer and
Absolutely.
basically oversee everything that's happening good and bad.
She can step into that divinity. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have a privilege of working with you on some volunteer activities. And so one of the things that I look at is we were sharing kind of our stories just in passing, and I really admire how you take on the responsibility of creating a family. No matter where you're at, you want to include people. You're always thinking about how can we include others into this, and you're really caring about those other people. And I've just really got to commend you on the work that you've done on raising two wonderful kids that are really at the top of their game and being a coacher of leaders.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay.
Along with all these fantastic qualities that you have, I see humility.
Yeah.
That's important, yes.
Who else?
We've already said it, but resiliency.
The bounce back. Yeah.
Magical.
Magical.
I like that.
I just think that you're loved.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lovely. Beautiful.
You have a willingness to see the truth in yourself and in others, and the ability to course correct for yourself. And it sounds like you changed your kids. I'm sorry, your kids' history, right? This could look very, very different for how you show up for your kids, and for you to admit to them and be transparent with them and share yourself and your story with them. I mean, what a gift you've given your kids.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so courageous.
Thank you.
Yes.
Alchemist. An alchemist. Alchemist.
I love that.
Change that transformation.
I would keep a very, very strong spirit.
Very strong.
We can just feel it all sitting here while she was telling that story. Just an honor to be with you tonight.
It's an honor to be seen here.
To be with your authentic self, and it seems like that your authentic self has always ruled.
I think so. I'd say Majesty probably had most of the control. But I definitely, as my kids were growing up, my condition self, the time I was in Denver, I think things really changed and everything turned around when I left Denver and came to Dallas.
How long have you been at CSL?
I've been at CSL since 2012, since I've been here. But I was out for 2 years because I've been dealing with the sickness and trying to in and out of the hospital, trying to figure out what the problem is, why I can't swallow, why food doesn't go down, why, all that. And then it was so heavy on me that I kept opening things up, and there was CSL Dallas. And then my sister's in Colorado, and now Megan and her, I'm like, would you go to CSL Denver? Because two of the people that were part of some of the negative things that were happening, I found some pictures of them online, and they had started to shift over to CSL Denver. And to see them at that point, but to know them as I knew them before, and to know that they were going there, even though she didn't want to listen to her son, he told her he was crazy, and I told her there was no craziness in that. And now when I saw them there, it too.
See that goodness, that change.
Yeah, I truly believe my life was saved by coming to Dallas, by making that decision and getting in a car with my kids and packing up away from all my family and just moving away.
I think lots of souls have been saved by you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like everything everyone said about you. I love the choice of Majesty, because it does really say what you've been saying in your interview tonight, which is that divinity in you. You've always let it come forward. And if it didn't, in those times that you were in your conditioned self, you were able to look at that and
See it.
yes, because we are human, and I think that human nature came out at times, but it seems like more than most people I've met, you let the divinity run your life.
It's been my goal, knowing that I came, just knowing that I was alive at 18 and had my whole life ahead of me. And a 2-year-old little girl and said, "What you gonna do?"
And you do it. Well, thanks. I would kind of like to suggest a minute as we wind down tonight. I just want to thank you for volunteering and for telling us your story. It's brave, it's transparent, it's vulnerable, it's all of those things that we look for in people and admire. And so I think all of us want to commend you for that. Your life, what you're doing with it now, what you will do with it, and your ability to transcend. You really are a transcender. You just rise up.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. So as we sit here together, we're just about out of time. So sit here while we do the benediction, okay? Okay. If you'll just close your eyes a minute and go inside. And call on that divinity both in you, around you, as you, through you. And feel it for a moment, its presence. Let it come to you. Be aware that it's already there. It's always there. And just as Erin is that unique expression of the divine, we know we all are. And we know that we have the potential in us, every one of us, that is omnipotent, that is omniscient, that is omnipresent. We know we are unlimited in time and space and knowledge, power, energy. So tonight we see ourselves connecting with it, just like Erin says she connects with it. And for just a moment, we feel the presence of the divine in this room, as well as in each of us. And we go forth in our next week carrying that sense of the divinity in us, just as Erin has modeled how to do that. We too show that we have the divinity in us in everything we do. We prepave the next week, and we look at managing it from our highest self, from our authentic self, from the part of us that rises above all the humanness that we all are. And we move forward into our life being the divine. And with that, I'll close with, and so it is.
So it is.